Hey, welcome back, guys. Raising Kanan episode 403 was another step in an explosive direction that found Unique on the prowl once again, taking stabs at Rock's business. Jukebox coming into her very own and establishing herself as an independent outside of music or the army, and the Thomas family at large crumbling before our very eyes, with the life of Mama Joyce barely hanging on in the balance. I'm here to break it all down in typical top 10 WTF fashion. Before we begin, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and bell notification to immediately receive these videos. Also, big thank you to all of my Patreon family. If you'd like to be the next one, hit the link pinned to the comments below. And lastly, a spoiler alert is now in effect for all things Power. Here we go. WTF moment number 10. All the way in. The episode kicks off on a tragic note, with Unique catching up with Richard and Sunny while they close up the Golden Pavilion for the evening. Nick holds the couple at gunpoint and forces them to empty out all of their inventory belonging to Rock. Then, he savagely and brutally murders the two in cold blood, leaving each other with the last thing they'd see before departing on to Power Heaven. WTF moment number 9. Dishonorable discharge. On the heels of going AWOL from her training unit, Jukebox is visited by two army officials, one of which she appealed to a season ago in order to enlist in the army. The two tried to hold the banner of Americanism over her head, only to have it rebuffed and spit back in their face upon learning of Jukebox's true nature and sexuality. In the face of such explosive news, the officials grant her a leave from the army, with hopes that she isn't proud of her behavior. This scene was critical, as it was Jukebox finally taking her life back into her own hands, accepting her environment for what it is, and navigating through it as she sees fit, something she does throughout the entirety of the episode. WTF moment number 8. Uncommon courtesy. Crystal makes her way to Kanan's crib, only to be disrespectfully ran into by none other than Unique, who she has no knowledge of from an identity perspective. Questioning his discourtesy in real time, she meets the face of the devil himself, who turns around and gives her the iciest of stares, scars and all, scaring poor Crystal up to Kanan's apartment and inspiring the wisest move he's taken thus far, to relocate his residence away from his business. The interesting question in the ordeal is this: just how did Nick know that that was Kanan's place of residence? Perhaps he clocked Rock showing up there as well, likely from the tail end of last season or in the beginnings of this one. WTF moment number 7. Jewish history lesson. Lulu attempts to give Rilla his own place of residence by securing a second advance from Lowell. However, during the meeting, Rilla indignantly disrespects Lowell while simultaneously having his hand out for his money. Then, after taking several Jewish digs, Lowell commences into giving Rilla and the audience at large a history lesson in the area of Jews, setting the record straight on their true nature, hard-working beginnings, and on oppression and struggle in America. The conversation took on a meta tone from all onlookers and viewers, and highlighted the spotty history between the relationships of Black people and Jewish people. And from their perspective, at least Lowell to Rilla, you sure have a lot to say for someone whose hand is always out. But being heard is important, nevertheless. WTF moment number 6. Deadly misunderstanding. Take 2. On a quest to discover the true killers of Richard and Sunny, Marvin pulls up on Richard's nephew yet again, this time at his own place of residence. With gun in hand and to nephew's son's head, he vigorously questions him about who took the kill shot, only to realize that the nephew had no idea that his uncle and aunt were dead altogether. But he did reveal that they had a daughter who's likely about to find her way into the foster system, inspiring Marvin to bridge the gap between himself and Gerald's now orphaned daughter, Amber. WTF moment number 5. Confessions from a former hell. Lulu makes a milestone in his recovery and journey of sobriety, and takes that time to expose a darker time where he almost deleted himself, something that we witnessed firsthand in the finale of last season. While he redescribes the ordeal, a shocked and concerned Rock looks on and even conveys emotions that we rarely see from her, that internal vulnerability. Through her brother's story, it's almost like she's reliving her father's traumatic exit, whose own self-deletion is alluded to in the premiere of season 4. And Lou's confessional, along with her support, brings them closer as a result. WTF moment number 4. Blood money. Nick pulls up on Early Tyler to finally pay him what he owes for saving his life way back in the premiere. Then, Early questions Neek in the matter of the Chinese store murders, only for Neek to double down on the act, take fire into his own hands, literally, and proclaim that he's gonna burn down everything. Everything means everyone as well. And you can't tell me that Early Tyler's facial expression doesn't convey as much. Perhaps he'll be the one to expose Neek to Marvin and the Thomas family if things get too close for comfort and Neek gets too wild to control. And ultimately, the money isn't worth the trouble anymore. I guess we'll see. WTF moment number 3. Uncle Marvin's good deed. Our favorite Uncle Marvin has a change of heart in the realm of Gerald. Well, probably not so much Gerald, but definitely for his daughter. Upon Upon learning that Richard and Sonny, the two Asian store owners, had a daughter of their own that'll be forced into the system, Marvin seeks out Amber in order to rebuild a connection and a relationship with her, drop her off some money along with his phone number if she ever needs anything. On the surface, it's a very touching moment and one that highlights once again the humanity of Marvin, something that he himself rebuked way back in episode 1 when discussing and reminiscing on Gerald with his brother Lulu. WTF moment number 2, the villain and the savant. Having previously cased Kanan's place, Unique returns, only to run into Kanan's numbers guy, OC, the small misfit character we met a couple episodes ago. OC is pushed to the floor by Unique, and although the aftermath of the events aren't shown, he's likely robbed and hopefully not killed in the matter. We haven't even really had time with OC just yet, but here's hoping that he's still alive. And WTF moment number 1, Grandma's hands. After having a conversation with her grandson and being convinced in the process, Mama Joyce acquiesces to sharing her cancer diagnosis with the entire family. She invites them all out for a family dinner, and during such time, she tries to relay the last bit of wisdom she has left before she leaves the earth. However, Rock isn't hearing it and questions her mother on her true motives for inviting them all out there. Upon learning that her mother has cancer, she furiously rebukes her and excuses herself from the table, albeit sadly. Now, many may be wondering why Rock would have reacted this way, but from where this commentator is sitting, sometimes the person you resent the most can affect you the hardest when facing death, which is why Rock reacted the way she did. Death isn't even a just cause to exit this life when there's unresolved grievances littered between people. The mentality that begins to permeate within the victim is, you don't get to just die. That's too easy for someone with your sins. Not until you fix what you made me. That was the tone of Rock's angst, and the unspoken part, now said loud. Some lingering thoughts before we end today's video. In the downtime of Neek's clandestine war against Rock, we witnessed him try to make amends with his family by providing Pernessa and his son with mailbox money. This is undoubtedly due to the guilt that he feels for not being there for them in their time of need, resulting in their eviction from his former residence. In fact, in episode 2, you can clearly see the eviction notice on the door prior to Neek's entry and torturous realization upon seeing the final remnants of the residence. You gotta love Rock's ability to clock the BS displayed throughout this episode. For instance, when she questions Marvin about his ties to the Italian or being seen by Andre's contact, and Marvin lies right to her face, check out her expression. She knows her brother is lying, and she doesn't even look to gain the truth from him, but she looks to gain the truth from his mannerisms, and that's a skill that only a true hustler maintains. This episode also highlighted Lulu's return to form, as displayed in the meeting with Lowell. In the midst of that storm, he was cool, calm, and collected, reminiscent of the season 1 Lulu that we were introduced to, way back before alcoholism destroyed his character temporarily. Another point on Lou, why is he so averse to the 411 song when he produced it for Famous? I think it's because of the place he was in when he made that record. As painful as 411 was for Famous to rap and perform in studio, it was just as painful for Lulu to sit and reminisce upon, because he also had things that he couldn't live with, similar to the author of that very song. It was lightning in a bottle, and a match made in heaven from a creative standpoint, but it was simultaneously a match made in hell from a personal struggle standpoint. I don't know if y'all peeped this, but check out Rilla's face when Lowell admitted to having stacks of cash in his own place of residence. Remember, Rilla went to jail for armed robbery, and he sought to get an advance from Lowell that thankfully Lowell acquiesced to. But that doesn't mean that Rilla didn't see dollar signs upon learning of Lowell's habits. Keep an eye out on this, because we may see Rilla rob his own record label owner in the very near future. Jukebox character took a major stride this episode, as we witnessed her take her old music jersey along with her army outfit and trash the both of them. It's as if she was saying she's done with that life and she's on to newer, greener pastures. Even when she briefly rekindled the relationship with her old friends, the familiarity was too deep for her in the moment, and we saw her exit the club with them and then enter the new club with the new brand of people, more on the type of vibe that she's on. She made it very clear to us when talking to Kanan, I only dream when I'm asleep, and I'm wide awake in here now. This is the beginning of Innocence's end when it comes to Jukebox. And finally, Rock's conversation with Joaquin spells the end for Tremont, if not next episode, definitely by the mid-season finale. Remember, Tremont went back on his deal with Rock 2 seasons ago, and we've never seen her betrayed and not pay back the double cross. So RIP Tremont in advance. It was nice knowing you. But that will do it for this one. What were your thoughts on Raising Kanan episode 403? Be sure to drop me your opinions in the comments below. As always, I thank you for watching today's video. If you liked today's video, go ahead and drop $1 on that Cash App for us, hit the like button, share it with your friends who are Power fans, and subscribe for more content such as this. This is Rudy P. Magic of Rudy P. Magic Beats, and have a blessed one until the next one. Peace, y'all.